Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with next chapter, control and coordination. Unicellular organisms who have simple organization of their life processes. That means single cell performs all life processes which are very minute level, we can say, because it is single cell. As compared to the multicellular organisms, shows numerous cells, so they form tissues, also they form organs, and unitedly they form organ systems. Why would they require organ systems? Because they shows numerous cells, so to deal with the environment they have to maintain homeostasis in their body, that is maintenance of their body temperature also. So all the life processes which are performed in their body must be coordinated. Plants and animals both shows control and coordination mechanism. So in plants, control coordination by sending chemical signals which bringing about various types of movements takes place, that are phototropic movements, chemotropic movements. Phototropic, that means according to light or towards the light. Chemotropic, that are the chemical signals. Thingomactic, that is the response to stimulus of touch or contact that we can generally found in touch me not plant, Mimosa pudica, etc. As in animals, we can say the especially higher that are vertebrates, higher animals that are vertebrates, which shows a gradual increase in their complexity of their control and coordination by giving both electrical and chemical signals. So we can start with the porifera, which are the lowermost animals, the primitive animal phyla. Even though there are different types of cells in sponges, they are carrying out just different functions. Proper nervous system which is not formed in porifera. However, to bring about the efficient working of the body, this multicellular animal shows division of labor among the cells. That are this leads to the specialization of cells for various activities like digestion, respiration, excretion, and others. But still, special systems are not formed for these life processes. That can be found generally in the vertebrates, later in the higher animals and phyla, the different cells from tissues, organs, and systems, so which must work in coordination with each other for smooth internal functioning of the body. Also, the organism must be able to respond and coordinate with respect to various stimuli or changes in the external environment. So, in lower animals like Hydra and Planaria, which shows control and coordination, are carried out by the nervous system, while in higher, more complex animals, it is done by two coordinating systems, the nervous, that is electrical system, and endocrine, that is chemical control system. Nervous coordination. Nervous system in Hydra, we can say. Hydra, a cnidarian, which included in the Cnidaria, phylum Cnidaria, which shows primitive nervous system. In the form of diffuse nervous system, the cnidarians are the most animal group which showing true simple nervous system. True simple nervous system means basic pattern of nervous system. It consists of the sensory cells and the nerve cells or neurons along with their fibers. The nerve cells which are distributed throughout the body and interconnected to each other by synapses. Synapses are the join point, we can say, a kind of junction point between their fibers to form the nerve net. So there are two types of nerve nets which are present, that is mesoglea, that is hydrostatic skeleton, that is one connected towards the epidermis and second towards the gastrodermis. There are sensory cells scattered in the body wall and tentacles, but sense organs are absent. Neurons have fibers, but there are no sensory and motor nerves. So this is like little bit different than the actual nervous system than human or vertebrate, we can say. So nerve impulse shows no polarity or direction. Nerves spreads everywhere in the body and there is no specific direction. In Hydra, activation or sensory cells produced at any point, and from this point impulse can be carried out throughout the body in any direction, thus bringing movement of the body or tentacles, for example catching of prey during feeding. So this is one of the kind of action we can find out, where the activation of sensory cells produced at any point, where the tentacles forms that movement over there only in tentacles, and which will remain there only just for the movement of that part, that are tentacles only. The diffuse type of nervous system is the first important landmark in the nervous system. It is seen in the phylum Netophora as well as in the incentric system of gut wall of higher animals, which includes also man. So here the diagram of the nervous system in flatworm and planaria and hydra. These two diagrams are explained properly. Next nervous system, that is nervous system in planaria, that are flatworms, which shows a network form, we can say. So nerve net you can see easily in the hydra, correct, and the ladder type network which can be found in planaria. It is the most primitive animal with the central nervous system located on the ventral side of the body. So it consists of mass of cerebral or cephalic ganglion which are the junctions of the neurons, appearing like an inverted U-shaped brain, and these lie in the anterior head region, and from each ganglion arise 9 branches towards the outer side. Ventrally from cerebral ganglia arise a pair of ventral nerve cord which runs posteriorly, that is from the back side of the body, which are interconnected to each other by the transverse nerve or commissure in a ladder-like manner. So from the ventral nerve cord arises the peripheral nerve plexus and the PNS, that's peripheral nervous system, which includes sensory cells, so arranged in lateral cords in the body. A pair of photosensory structure, the eyes, are located on dorsal side of the brain, and single sensory cells scattered in the body. So there is high level of specialization in the formation of neurons as electrically signaling cells, and also in the entire system. Gradually, from a diffuse neural system to a centralized nervous system, the expansion into a properly organized system involving the brain, its gradual expansion in the size and functions. So as well as we can say the line of evolution which actually turns non-chordates to chordates and till the vertebrates, that evolution is also shows many a lot changes or modifications, positive modifications in the animals. This has led to a centralization of various sense organs assisting in coordinating the internal environment with that the external environment. So that is the what we can say connection between these two. Their evolution of complex networking system which efficiently transmits signals between one part of organ of the body and another. Neural tissues. The neural tissue consists primarily of two types of cells, neurons, neuralgia or glial cells. Nerve is a bundle of axons. The bundle of axons outside the central nervous system is called as nerve, and is while inside it is a central nervous system, it is called tract. So whole brain is made up of nerves, but it is outside, but it's not outside, inside the brain, it is termed as tracts. Nerves may be sensory or motor or mixed type, which are present outside the brain. So mixed nerve having both the types, sensory and motor fibers. All this along with the nervous organs make up the nervous system of the higher animals and bring about coordination and control of various activities of the body. This is done by the receptors which bring in sensory inputs towards the central nervous system. Processing is carried out in the CNS, and then by motor commands, the response is sent to effector organs. That means where the sensory organs are totally depend on CNS, central nervous system, for their action according to their information received. That is the stimulus we can say they are getting from the outer environment. The nerves arising from the cytons of the CNS, that are the cells of the central nervous system we can say, travel throughout the body transmitting the nerves impulses to or from the central nervous system. Here the types of nerve cells, neurological cells which are given: neurons or nerve cells. These are structural and functional unit of the nervous system. These are each multipolar neuron has three parts: cyton or cell body, dendron and axon, here which is given in this diagram. Cyton has a distinct central nucleus with a nucleolus and nucleoplasm, neuroplasm. A clear film of cytoplasm surrounds the nucleus, around which there are neurofibrils and Nissel's granules and other cell organelles. Nissel's granules are riboprotein components. They play an important role in the synthesis of the enzyme required for formation of the neurotransmitter. So Nissel's granules contains that kind of impulses, that means they can form a current, a charge in it, and that charge can be flows through the nerves or neurons we can say. Neurofibrils play an important role in transmission of nerve impulse. Dendrons, these are many small conical processes arising from the cyton. These are highly branched into fine dendrites. So Nissel's granules and neurofibrils both can be seen at the base of the dendrons, which transmit message towards the cyton. Axon. It consists of a bundle of neurofibrils. Nissel's granules are absent. Terminally, the axon gives out branches called telodendrons. The axons carry the messages away from the cytons. Axons may give out lateral branches which are called collaterals. The terminal branches attach to a muscle, gland, skin or telodendritis of another neuron. The interconnection between two neurons or neuron with motor organ is called synapse, that is junction we can say, and it is usually axodendronic or maybe axoaxonic, axosomatic or dendrodendronic. The cytons are generally found inside the brain, spinal cord, that is in the central nervous system, and in the ganglion. There are the types of synapse which are given, that is axodendronic, that means which is maybe between the axon and dendron. It is maybe axoaxonic, means between two axons. It may be axosomatic, means axon and cyton, or dendrodendronic, means between the dendron and dendron, two dendrons. Cytons are generally found inside the brain, in the spinal cord also. So spinal cord is a part of central nervous system, in the ganglia. So small groups of cell bodies inside the white matter of the brain are called basal nuclei. So a bundle of axons called nerve may be covered only by neurulema in the non-medullated nerve, while in the medullated nerve it is covered both by medullary sheath, that is a lining or a layer, and on outside by the neurulema. Conduction of impulse by the medullated nerve is 50 times faster than in the non-medullated nerves. So connective tissue covering around the nerve fascicle is called endoneurium. So few nerve fasciculi with endoneurium are surrounded by connective tissue which are called the perineurium, and still large bundle of nerves which are covered with the outer side of the epineurum. Blood is supplied to all the nerves to provide oxygen and nutrients, and this requires more amount of energy because they have to form and perform important function of the body. So it is a single long, usually unbranched process arising from the cyton at the axon hillock. Neuralgial cells. Neuralgial cells are more in number than the neurons. Most of the supporting cells of the neurons or nervous system are derived from the embryonic tissues. There is layer of ectoderm, especially in the three germ layer cells that are triploblastic animals like vertebrates. The term neuralgia is the supporting cell of the central nervous system CNS, peripheral nervous system PNS. So central nervous system, the location, cell type, oligodendrocytes. These cells which have few branches mainly from the myelin sheath around the central axons which form the white matter of CNS. Myelin, an insulating sheath, is made up of protein and fatty substances which allows the quick transmission of electrical impulse. Microalgia or brain macrophages. These are the small sized cells with few branches. These are derived from monocytes and act as a macrophages. They go to the site of injury, dead neurons and cell debris in the central nervous system. They mediate immune system in the central nervous system. Next one, that is astrocytes. These are star-shaped cells and the most abundant glial cells of the central nervous system. They have varied roles in the brain secretions and absorption of the neural transmitter and also the maintenance of the blood-brain barrier BBB. That means the flow of the blood they maintain. Regulate the transmission of the electrical impulse with the brain. That means they are actually a kind of guards of the brain. Ependymal cells form a single layer of squamous or columnar, often ciliated epithelial cells lining the ventricles of the brain cavities and central canal of the spinal cord, which is mainly responsible for the production of probably also for the circulation of CSF in the brain, ventricles and the central canal. So this is totally related to the kind of formation of CNS, cerebrospinal fluid. PNS, peripheral nervous system. Schwann cells. These are the most abundant glial cells of PNS. They produce myelin sheath around the meridian nerves of PNS just for protection. And satellite cells, they support the functions of neurons. So here these are all performs their function for the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Some are protective in nature, some are synthesizing nature. Synapse. It is a junction between two nerve cells. In between two nerves, a minute gap, that is synaptic cleft, is present, which allows transmission of impulse by neurotransmitter bridge. So properties of nerve fibers: excitability or irritability. Nerve fibers are highly excitable during response to the various stimuli and capable of generating electric impulse. Conductivity. Action potential is generated in the nerve fiber, so which is propagated along its entire length of the axon terminal. That means the flow of the current, we can say stimulus. Stimulus. It is any detectable physical, chemical, mostly electrical change in the external or internal environment which brings about excitation in the nerve, muscle, organ, organism. So it is an excitation of nerve, muscles, organ or organism. There are types of stimuli. First one, threshold stimuli. The stimuli by which the axons with low threshold fibers are stimulated and small potential change recorded. Subliminal, that is weak stimulus, that will have no effect. Supraliminal, that is strong stimulus, will produce the same degree of impulse as a threshold stimulus. Summation effect. A single subliminal stimulus will have no effect, but if many such weak stimuli are given in the continuous manner, they may produce an impulse due to addition or summation of stimuli. All or non-law. All nerves will either conduct the impulse along its entire length or will not at all conduct the impulse. This is the all or none law. Means whether they are going to carry impulse or not, that is decided. Refractory period. It is the duration after an effective stimulus. When a second stimulus is applied, there will be no response for the second stimulus. Once we get that stimulus, so second time there will be no stimulus for the same effect. Synaptic delay. The impulse requires about 0.3 to 0.5 milliseconds to cross a synapse. This time is required for release of neurotransmitter from the axon terminal and excitation in the dendron of the next neuron. That is synaptic delay. That much time is taken just for the formation of stimulus inside the neurons or nerves. Synaptic fatigue. The transmission of nerve impulse across the synaptic halts temporarily due to the exhaustion of its neurotransmitter. Means same stimulus is received by the nerves, which forms synaptic fatigue. Means which is stop responding to that stimulus for temporarily. Velocity. The rate of transmission of impulse is higher in long and thick nerves. It is higher in homeotherms than in poikilotherms. Homeotherms means cold blooded animals and poikilotherms means warm blooded animals. The velocity of transmitter is higher in voluntary fibers, that is 100 to 120 meter per second in man, as opposed to autonomic or involuntary nerves 10 to 20 meter per second. Similarly, it is faster in medullary nerve as the impulse has to jump from one mode to the Ranviers to the next. So at the synapse where the neurons communicate with one another, the neuron carrying an impulse to the synapse is the presynaptic neuron. The neuron receiving input at the synapse is the postsynaptic neuron or generator region, gland or muscle we can say, where the generator region which receives the stimulus. So synaptic cleft or a small intercellular space lies between two cells having a width about 20 to 30 nanometer between them. So the process by which the impulse form the presynaptic neuron is conducted by postsynaptic neuron or cell is called synaptic transmission. It is one-way process carried out by the neurotransmission. Types of synapses. First, electrical synapse. The synapse gap between the neighboring neurons is very narrow. The synapse between such close neuron is mechanical. That means they are mechanically, we can see that they get transmitted from one neuron to the another. The electrical conductive link is formed between the pre and postsynaptic neurons. There is a conductive link between these two. One which is going to release and one which is going to accept the electrical impulse. At the gap junction, two cells are within almost 3.8 nanometer distance of each other. Transmission across the gap is faster but depends on the connection located at gap junctions between the two neurons. Electrical synapses are found in those places of the body requiring fastest response, as in the defense reflexes, different reflexes. Also, they are bidirectional, that means can be transmit in both the ways, allowing transmission in either direction or maybe unidirectional. Chemical synapse. These are specialized junctions through which the cells or neural systems send chemical signals to the other neurons and to non-neural cells such as gland and muscles. So synaptic gap is larger than in the electrical synapse, which is 20 to 40 nanometer, because here the actual stimulus can be received and gained by the chemical form. A chemical synapse between motor neuron and muscle cell is called neuromuscular junction. So there are three components of typical chemical synapse. Presynaptic terminal, mostly axonomic terminal, means axon gets attached to the muscle. The synaptic membrane of the postsynaptic cell. The previous synaptic cell shows a kind of membranes coming out, usually on the dendrite of the next neuron, gland cell or muscle cells. So that membrane is continuous, which actually helps that chemical stimulus to reach to the specific muscles. The postsynaptic neuron which leaves the chemical impulse. The impulse travels along the axon of the presynaptic neuron to the axon terminal. Most presynaptic neurons or axons have several synaptic knobs at their ends or terminals. So these knobs have arrays of membrane sacs called synaptic vesicles that contain neurotransmitter molecules. When an impulse reaches a synaptic knob, voltage sensitivity, that's calcium channels, opens and calcium diffuses into its two ions from the extracellular fluid. The increased calcium concentration inside the cells initiates a series of events that fuse the synaptic vesicles with the cell membrane of presynaptic neuron, where they release their neurotransmitters by exocytosis. Once the neurotransmitters bind to the receptor of the postsynaptic cells, the action is either excitatory, that is turning a process on, or inhibitory, that is turning a process off. This is dependent on the nature of neurotransmitter involved. Once the impulse has been transferred across the synapse, the enzyme like cholinesterase, which destroys the neurotransmitter, and synapse is ready to receive a new impulse. Transmission of nerve impulse, that we are going to check in next chapter.